Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Robin Shimizu and friends talking about happy, healthy habits with Robin. And Robin is in the studio today. We're always excited to have you, and we know you always have special guests for us. My question today is, do we have a healthy habit?
We do.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay.
Okay, so Terry, I don't know how many years we've been doing this, but we
Hmm.
started out initially talking about brain health.
Yes.
And then we connected the importance of gut health to brain health, right? So I
Hmm.
found this old article from this doctor named Douglas Lord. He's an MD. And he wrote this article about your body's second brain, the importance of gut health.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I would just start out the program by reading a little bit from his article and then introducing our guest who is an expert on gut health today.
Great.
Yes. Okay. So one of the things that they talk about gut health is the importance of a healthy gut for your moods, for your brain, for how
Hmm.
you feel, and your outlook on life. And there's a direct connection. And I want to read this one little um, tip that he had. Okay, so there he talks and talks and talks about how bad food is for your gut, and we'll hear
Okay.
about that with our guest today. And then he says, but on the other hand, gut health can also impact mood and mental health in positive ways. The
Mm.
the type of food that a body processes can have a huge positive effect on the functions of the brain. And when gut is healthy, the brain is happier. Certain microbes found in the gut can work out to help heal and protect the brain in the
Mm.
long term. However, with the diet on the average American, filled with processed, sugary, fatty foods, the gut becomes damaged over time and therefore less functional.
Mm.
Diets are filled with simple carbohydrates and gluten are damaging to the brain as they allow bad bacteria in the gut to grow exponentially. This type of gut damaging has been linked to mental health issues ranging from headaches to ADHD to depression and to dementia.
Wow. Your gut can actually cause dementia, what we take in? Ah,
So
that's interesting.
I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. Her name is Maureen Stevenson, and she's our, oh, how do I say this? She is our fitness coach, our
Hmm.
wellness coach, our mental health coach. She is a fashionista and helps us with, you know, what is she? What is her saying? She says, "Don't let your clothes wear you, you
Ah,
wear," or something like that. She could talk about that too. But anyway, Maureen is with us today. We're very, very excited. She also has I want to promote her program that's going to happen this weekend as well as part of the program. So let's, without ado, bring on Maureen
hmm.
and, um, and hi, Maureen.
Let me move everybody around here.
There we go.
Welcome, Maureen.
Maureen, what do you have for us today? So happy to see you. Oh, you're muted.
Hold on.
To be just sharing
That's
some
me.
tips.
That's me. I take responsibility for that. I apologize, Maureen.
You've been muted. Can you start over, Maureen? Good
Yes.
to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for the invitation. I am so humbled. So thank you for inviting me. So
You are
today,
so gracious.
thank you. So today I have some tips for your audience on gut health and
Hmm.
just the overall of the gut. We've been hearing so many things of lately about the gut, how it's connected to the immune system, how it contains to the brain. Robin just read a fantastic article that get a great segue to what I'm going to be sharing. So my number one tip today is to listen to your gut. Did you always hear this? That you most people said this. I have a gut feeling, right? And
Yes.
they always say, I used to always hear my parents or my grandma talk about that. Oh my God, my gut feeling is telling me that something is wrong, right? And the first thing that they really reached for was like, oh my God, they clutch their stomach or their stomach area and hug it. Even when things were going bad or they got a bad news, right? So just made sure that the neurons, so they didn't do this with their brain, right? They go here for their gut, right? So it tells us that the first thing that stress impact is our gut, right? Because so the first thing my thing is to tune into your body, right? Listen for the signal of your body, like when your body is hungry, when you have discomfort, right? Your gut talks to you. Yes. And sometimes you're just too busy to listen to it, right? And sometimes I was even going to be transparent. Like sometimes I'd be like listening to my husband or lying on his stomach and I hear the gut growing, like the belly, like grr, 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 right?
Yes.
That is just some signal that something is not going right in your gut.
Oh, and really? I didn't know that when you get the rumbling.
Yes, it's grumbling. It's maybe that it's hungry. Maybe that it's a voice, right? That voice that tells you that something is going on. And if you take the time to listen, you can hear. Awareness is your ally. Just be aware of when your gut is angry. What is it saying? What makes it angry in the first place? Or what makes it happy? So then it goes back to record it. I always tell my clients, like in 2 weeks, just listen, take the time and just listen to your gut. Record. What did you eat? When you eat it, how did it feel? At what time did you eat it? And so kind of get to tune in, to get to know the gut, right? So that when it's happy or when it's angry, because not all the time it's angry. Sometimes it's a happy gut, right? Okay. And it depends on what we feed it, right? Yes. So then you can figure that, oh my God, when I didn't do this, my gut wasn't happy because I would have to run to the bathroom and I would have to have these cramps and I would have bloating, right? So that's an indication that can tell you that, man, maybe I shouldn't eat enough of this, or, you can process it that way. So I would say that, and then how you feel immediately after eating the food, right? I remember one time my husband took me, just a short story, to Benihana's in the Bay Area in Monterey. And this guy was there and he eats and he eats and he had on an orange shirt, but you shared the table at the Benihana's restaurant.
Oh,
And then he had on an orange shirt. And I remember the waitress came over to him and he was sweating profusely after he eat. So he got, it's your birthday, but he was eating and eating. And then afterwards he was just drowning with sweats, right? And the waitress come over to him and says, "How can I help you?" He said, "Do you have another gut?" He was like, "How can I help you?" He's like, "Do you have another gut? Can you give me?" Because he was so full of overeating. And that was a sign of overeating when he was sweating profusely, right?
Yes.
Right. He's like, "Do you have another stomach?" And so the whole table just went out and laughed, right? But that was a sign that to him that he had, stuffed himself and put too much in his gut.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I'm saying. Make sure that, record that. Did you overdo it or was it just enough, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yes. And then another tip is look into a daily probiotic. We've been hearing about probiotic, but not just any probiotic. You can look for one that have, that targets the upper, the middle, and the lower parts of the gut. Like just an all-round probiotic. And there's so many out there today that you want to be careful and just make sure that it's something that is going to make you feel better. So that's one tip.
Maureen, maybe later on you could tell us how we find a good probiotic, because like you said, there's so many out there, and I've tried many different ones, and they're all about the same price, it seems to me. They're not cheap. So maybe we can talk about that later. You can make
So,
some recommendations.
yes, what was the first tip? Was it don't overeat? What?
Listen to your gut.
To
Listen
tune
to
into
yourself.
your body.
Yeah,
Okay, got
listen
you.
to your gut
What
because
talks to you?
you gut have a voice. I am a number one supporter of that. You know when you sometimes just eat, like I was giving you that example, and you feel so bloated that you cannot get up from where you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sign, because food is not supposed to make you feel. I've always tell my clients that food is not supposed to be make you feel bogged down and make you feel tired. Food
Mhm.
is supposed to give you life. Like the
Ah,
right food give you life.
should give you energy, huh?
Yes, so it should give you energy. It shouldn't take away your energy, right?
Mhm.
So when
That's
you eat food,
interesting. Why do we always want to sleep after we eat? Is it because we're eating too heavy?
that's a sign too. That's a sign that the food in your system just bug you down. So
It's
you're
sluggish.
yeah, you're sluggish. So even now, I tell my clients that I coach that like in this weather, the weather alone is going to be taxing. So you want light food that gives you moisture in your body, that makes you get up and move, right? Because the climate alone tax you and pull you out the 100 heat stroke, all these heat. So you
Mhm.
have to eat food now that nourish the body. So I always stick to the season and change up my food based on the season. So
Mhm.
now you want,
Ah,
yes. And so like in the winter, you want food to warm you up so that you can get up, right? So that's the opposite of what we're eating. Well, what I tell my clients or coach my client to eat in the summer, because now you need cooling food, but then you want in winter you want soup and all of that kind of stuff to make you warm so that you can get up and move. And so that's how I looked at food, as a source of energy. So if you eat the food and it makes you lack energy, you want to be a detective and question that again. Did I eat too much? Did I eat the wrong whatever that doesn't? And that's why you have to know your body. You got to know your body, because for me, when I eat tomato, it gives me heartburn, it gives me all of that. So it just tells me that tomato doesn't agree with me, right?
Mhm.
Or I try
Mhm.
to take the seeds out to get those burning and stuff like that. So the next tip was record what you eat, Terry, in a food journal for like just 2 weeks. Just kind of be, record it and see how you feel when you eat the food, how you feel after you eat the food, how you feel, how does it makes you feel. And so a food journal is always a good thing. And my third tip was look into a daily probiotic, um, and see how that works for you. There's several of them out there. And so I would say look in, and that also have to depend on finance, because we have to take things into real consideration these days and look at and make sure we're financial healthy too, because
well, can we really afford not to eat healthy? Because we're going to pay somebody, either the grocer or the doctor.
at the end of the day,
It saves money.
yes, at the end of the day, it's if you look at sick care versus health care, then you realize that sick care is more expensive than health care. So
Exactly.
I'm just saying that. I the other day, my doctor prescribed me a little thing about my finger, a tube on my for external it, and it was $800 just like my finger. So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna tell you, like sick care, you can. It's either, because that's why my slogan is your health is literally in your own two hands. You have the choice.
Mhm.
Well, you know something, Maureen, I'm thinking that this whole gut thing is sort of like what happened with my garbage disposal. The line was clogged, and the guy had to literally take a pipe and push all of the, impacted garbage out of the line to free the line up, and that's sort of like what's happening with our gut, right?
Yeah, so I'm glad you bring that up because I always go to my sink and then
Mhm.
use the plunger to talk about gut health.
Ah,
Because
uh-huh.
it's the same phenomenon with gut health. Like when here is clogged, we have a tendency to shame it too. When our areas in our gut, we have a tendency to shame it, and
Mm.
that's because it's not free, right? It's because it's in bondage. And
Ah,
I always say if you drain the line, if you make the line run, if you the line the water can run through it, then you have a tendency to even be more body positive, you know. And it doesn't matter your shape, it doesn't matter your size. It's just about confidence in your body that you're taking you're living from inside out and
Mhm.
not from outside in.
Mhm. Mhm.
gotcha, gotcha. So this is a this is a good conversation because I now have a simplification of how I should be thinking about my gut. You know what I'm saying? When I compare it to my garbage disposal, you know what I mean? And the fact that it needs to be, the line needs to be clear.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the whole plunger thing, I got business, and I don't want to pay a surgeon to unplug my.
Yeah, so I always do it too. I always compare it to my garbage, right? And that's a simple way that you
Exactly.
can compare it to, right? So the
Hmm.
other day I was taking out the trash and then I have to call my husband because garbage is heavy. I couldn't manage the bag, right? And so just imagine when you have those things in your gut. It's heavy. It's heavy on the skeleton, right?
Ah,
So the skeleton wasn't made to take that amount of impact. So that's why you instead of you're taller, you get smaller, you get smashed. So I always tell my clients, we pay the garbage man to come and pick up our trash. Who do
yes,
we pay to take it out of our body?
the
Right?
surgeon.
And it's okay. You can pay the surgeon, but then when you pay the surgeon, then you're going to have some painkillers, and the painkillers um, might lead to you being backed up because you can't use the bathroom,
Right.
constipation.
Now
It
you
might
need a
lead
stool
to
softener. Yeah.
Yeah, it might lead to a lot of side effects that now bring on all these other things. So it's one thing leading to the next. So I would say if you can just be an ally for yourself, take the time to tune in, take the time to understand when like the gut is like a child sometimes, it cries when it needs attention. And if that child doesn't get attention, when you have a baby and you're rocking them and stuff like that, and it's kind of the same thing. It's going to be there and it's going to go louder and louder and louder until you decide that you want to pay some attention. I try to always just simplify my stuff because I'm very
Yeah.
sick. I don't like the overcomplicated things. So if you
Yeah.
hear me and it's not your term, but that's how I think about it. I think about it as And then I think about bad bacteria versus good bacteria when I take my compose out and I put it in a out back. And then I
Ah,
see these little maggots start eating it out, right? When it started fermented, you see these maggots start coming up, and you look at
yes.
them, they're little and yellow and just disgusting. And then I thought about the gut in that form. That's how we started to get disease because the lining of our gut is eroded with those little things that eat away on it. So I
Mm.
come with practicality, and because I'm very practical, that's how I retain stuff. And
Well,
so if you put it down and look at it, then you can see the difference with it. And if those are not, and those are the bad bacteria, if they're eating away at us, then there's no support left, right? So
mhm.
yeah, so make sure you're doing that. And one research show, in when we talked about gut health, to put in some fermented food, um, kifa, all these fermented food that you can find, No,
Okay.
they're everywhere. Sometimes you're not even hungry. You can just bite one of them and just eat them. You can do cucumber fermented. You can do sauerkraut. You can do kimchi. All these
Mhm.
other kimchi fried rice is excellent. If you want a white rice and you had some kimchi to it, then you turn it into an amazing gut health, right? And it tastes so amazing. So these are the things that you can do. You can use kombucha, kefir, yogurt, some of those things. Instead of using mayonnaise for your salad, you can use yogurt. You can start using yogurt with the probiotic.
Oh,
Yeah, you can use it to make gravy. You can use it to make salad dressing. Cut out all the other middlemen. Why not go to the friendly stuff?
right. Jill says sauerkraut on an empty stomach. Let all those microbiotics marinate. She's smiling. Yeah, I am familiar with sauerkraut. I'm not familiar with a lot of the other fermented foods that you were mentioning. So that
Oh,
would be an what would I call it? A gastronomical adventure.
what I say is that start small. I would say
Okay.
start by what you know, and just
Okay.
start small. And
I do.
when you go to the supermarket, buy the smallest one that you can find, and
Ah,
take a teaspoon. Don't go. I know we're human being and we tend to go elaborate. You don't
Yeah.
have to start elaborate. Start reminding your taste bud, then on your tongue, that because the tongue is gonna be like, what are you doing?
what is this?
And the space. And that's why a lot of people don't stick to stuff because
Uh-huh.
when you reach to the taste bud is gonna be an antagonist. I'm gonna pull it and pull it, right? So you want to get
Hmm.
the taste bud to like, hey, So I always
Right.
say start slow, and
Well,
if you're even using anything, mix it in your meals. Don't
ah,
always attempt to do it like because for me when I first started kimchi, I'm like, what is this thing? But then if I put it in my white rice and then I made it into a fried rice, it's still
hmm,
there and you don't taste it that when you use the yogurt to use dressing, put a little turmeric, a little olive oil, put it in a blender and blend it or in a food processor, and then you put it all over your salad, you still get it. So I
got
always start small, incorporate it in your meal, little
well,
by little. Get the
so,
taste bud to understand that what we're trying to do, and not to freak it out and let it like close the door on us in the first bite, right? You're like, hey, I ain't doing this thing again.
well,
Right?
Cecilia says, great idea, Maureen. Kimchi, fried rice, yogurt instead of mayonnaise. She likes that idea. Thank you for the suggestions.
Yeah, and then the kombucha, what I always do is like you can put the kombucha, half of it like in your smoothies, right? And then the
Oh,
other half stays in the fridge. So you put it,
yeah.
you buy the one, you put it in, and then you put it in your smoothie. So you don't taste it until you figure out the taste of kombucha and whatever. Then your taste bud, then your taste bud get
Now
it.
that makes sense because I did not like the texture. I didn't just not like the look of it when I looked at it in the grocery store. Cecilia says, "What is kefir?"
Kefir is a form of yogurt, but is in a liquid form.
Oh,
So it it,
really?
it, it resembled milk,
Uh-huh.
and then
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that one. So that one, yeah, that one. So you can also use that also in your dressing. So
Ah,
that's kind of what the table of six is, just to get a frame of mind to help us as we age to age vibrantly by add in instead of taking out. I mean, a
yeah.
lot of diets like tell you to take out. What I recommend is to add in because those things are going to add in years. They're adding great mood. They're going to add in a lot of joy and movements in your life because you're not heavy again. You want something to work on the gut. while he's still trying to be amazing and sexy and all the other things that comes with us. We're women of certain age, but we can
Yes,
package ourselves, and so that is with food, right? So the table is usually just to, introduce you to different stuff, but also give you exciting and new ways that you probably never thought of using them and how
exactly.
to use them, right?
And I like the idea of introducing these foods through a smoothie because, then we can sort of gradually introduce this to our bodies.
Yeah, and once the taste bud, it's not the body so as much as to pass the taste
Yes, the
bud.
palate. Yeah.
Yeah, the palate. So like when we put on locks and put on cameras on our door to see who's coming into our
Yes.
door, right? It's the same thing with the taste bud. The taste bud, like, hey, this is.
Who is this at the door?
Yeah, this at the door. Let me call 911. Let me call.
There's a stranger at the door of my palate. Okay.
Taking over my territorial that I was doing all along, right?
Uh-huh.
And so it's like freak out. And now it's freak out. You're calling your mother, your sister, everybody. I've been robbed. It's the same thing the taste buddy's saying. So a friendly way of doing that is to come over and introduce yourself to me. Hey, this is Terry. I live next door. Next time you see me, I'm not a weirdo. I'm Terry. And so the mouth started to get, oh, so this is my beautiful Terry that lived next door. Oh, I'm gonna, hey, change it a little bit. But these are the subtle little things that works. It's not the big grand things that work. It's the subtle little things. Think about you seeing a stranger in your house. You are going to, but as I just demonstrate, if I come over and introduce myself to you, you are more likely to going to tolerate me, right?
Yes.
It's the same thing with these food to our mouth, to our body. We've been living in this body, like for me, over 50 years. I never learned about these things. Why it makes sense is going to make sense to my body now. No, it's not. It's this little subtle things that practicality, like this, take your life, take you in practicality. Remember to be grateful for the body that you're in. Don't freak it out. Don't as a phenomenon come out or the body change and we have to change with it. That's the story. The body I have 20 years ago is not a 50-year-old body. I might look like 20, they say, but I'm still 50. The bones still need different nourishment as we age. And each step of the way, each step of the change is going to ask our palate to do the same for us. But how do we do it? We don't freak it out. We try to learn.
Well, Jill got a suggestion here, Maureen. She says sauerkraut in an avocado with red pepper flakes on top is fantastic. I would have never thought about that combination.
Oh my God, that is great, Jill. You should probably send me some. Let me try it. I'm gonna try it out and let you know how it works out. But
and Cecilia has a comment here. She says, "Yes, I need to get my sexy back. Haven't felt that in a long time." Well,
yeah, Cecilia was supposed to be coming to the table. I hope you can still make it. It's that Saturday at 2, right? And so
table of 6. Are we talking about the table of 6?
Yes, the table of 6. I'll definitely. You're on the part. You're on the great that you're listening this morning because that's my MO to get women sexy back. You gotta thrive.
There you go. There you go. So we just want to thank you, Maureen. I put the several tips. Let me what do you call it? Recap and see if I got everything. Okay.
Yes.
So Maureen, if we eat probiotics instead of taking a pill, that's probably our body probably likes that a little better, don't you think? Because I had a coach the other day tell me, she says, food is fuel for our bodies, right? And I think taking a pill I just am trying not to take very many pills. So I think I'm going to try to eat my probiotic. Well, you know, the Japanese eat kimchi. We grew up with it, but we also grew up with fermented other kinds of vegetables like daikon and cabbage and things like that. So I think we probably get some probiotics just in our normal Japanese diet, not realizing how good it is for us because we eat kimchi and that things every day, you know?
Wow.
It food is not like medicine. Food is medicine.
Right. Okay.
Food is not even like medicine. Food is medicine. If you take the time to look at some of the benefits that you get from food, my whole journey started like this. When I went to my doctor, my doctor was the one who get me into this thing, right? Because when my hormones was crazy, and she wanted to put me on an antidepressant, and I couldn't take the pill, and I protested with her, and she told me that go exercise, because the same serotonin, she called it happy mood, that you're going to get from this pill, your body make it, but you just have to use your body to get it. And I was like, what do you mean? I don't have anything in my body. My body is draining. I'm like this. And the more I started to look into it, and she said, just change your diet, not a diet, but a lifestyle. Try to do it in a lifestyle bit by bit, because you are going to feel so much better than these happy pills that I'm giving you today. Because the happy pill is manufactured, but what is not manufactured is your body and the food that you make and what you do with it, but you have to cleanse it. And I went home and I'm like, this woman is crazy. But I'm here to tell you that it works. It's just because we're so stressed. We never take the time to unwind and sit down and listen. We always have to be in the limelight and be the center of attraction. And so we're always in the fire. We burn ourselves out. But if we can take ourselves gradually out of the red zone into the blue zone, into the green zone, where health and digestive enzymes started to restore in your body, and those things started to come alive, you are a different person.
You know what? I just wrote this down. Maureen is our lifestyle coach.
I love it.
Because really, Maureen, you touch on everything. It's so awesome what you're able to teach us about. And I'm so excited about this weekend and coming to your program. Maybe we can put that graphic up. And Terry, I sent it to you in text this morning.
Oh, okay.
The graphic for or her website. And then the other thing, Maureen, I've been wanting to talk to you about gut health, because I want to jumpstart my gut health, because, you know, last January I had my gallbladder removed.
Oh.
And I think it has caused belly fat. You know, I'm a thin person overall, but I'm kind of thick through my belly. So I'm kind of wondering if that has to do a little bit with losing my gallbladder, because gallbladder works with the pancreas and helping to digest food and things like that. And so, in fact, it works on helping to digest fat. Is that not right, Maureen? The gallbladder?
Yeah, but I have a different. When you come on Saturday, I'll have a different diet for you.
Okay.
With that, because anytime you remove any organs out your body, another organs have to work harder to metabolize food and to do it. So maybe that's why you're seeing a shift in your body. So then if you have the gallbladder out, then I'll give you some tips when you come Saturday, and how to navigate that process, and how you can see results from it. Yeah.
Well, so I'm so excited, because this is also my sister's birthday present to come see you on Saturday. So she's very excited.
I'm
And
so excited
she's diabetic, so I think she could use some help with her diet in terms of tweaking her diet and helping her eat better foods to help her with her diabetes.
Yeah,
So we're very, very excited to come to the table of six. So
it's just an amazing place where
Jill was asking, doesn't menopausal hormone changes affect belly fat too?
yes, it does.
yeah,
Yes,
but I'm like through
estrogen,
menopause. I
estrogen,
went,
estrogen, estrogen. That's a whole different set of worm. But yes, as we grow older, our hormones level drop. So that's why it's so great important, as I talked about the body, right? The body
Mm-hmm.
that was 20 is a different body that was 50. So you got to eat it for a 50-year-old body now. But so much of us is trying to eat for the then body and forget the now body. And that's where I come in. Like, there are certain tips that you got to change a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we can still have the hormonal change, but we can still we can still rock. We can still feel good. We can still feel good in this body of ours. We don't have to be miserable all the time.
Okay.
We can still create joy. Joy can still come from it. I don't say happiness because happiness is external. Joy,
Oh,
yeah.
internal. You can find
oh, okay.
everything.
Well, I know that Robin, you wanted to talk about some of Maureen's offerings. Did you want to speak to that right now? I'm
I'm
going to put
wondering. Well, I'm thinking maybe what we'll do.
there.
Maureen,
There's
do you
her.
want to talk? You want because we're running out of time. Maureen, you want to talk about it now, or do you want to talk about the next time you come on? You're on,
Yeah,
Maureen.
yeah. Let's talk about it the next time because I
Yeah.
see that we're wrapping up and
Well,
yeah, but not this kind. I just gave a lot of a lot of. I don't like to give more than 3 tips because then you lost people all the time. So in this small world where we live in, where it's just a bite size of everything, it's a video now. It's people don't even take time to turn a leaf and read. With what goes on in our everyday life, it's hard to absorb so much stuff. So I don't want to be an overwhelming coach. That's why I try to always tell people that 3 things. If you do 3, it's
yes.
okay. Don't try to 5 because 5 is you're gonna stretch harder. So I think it's a good place to stop and then when I
Okay.
come back,
Well, I did put her links to her website for Facebook and for her website in the chat, everyone. So you'll be able to find more about Maureen at these locations.
thank
It's
you.
her Facebook page, and this is her website. And you can see those on the screen as well as in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for your wonderful audience for the privilege of your time.
Oh,
No, it's not really kosher now, but thank you. So when somebody takes the time to just even tune in, it's an honor and a privilege. So thank you, thank you.
what a blessing. Oh, my goodness. So, Robin, we just want to thank Maureen again. And who do you have coming up for next week? Thank
I
you, Maureen. Stay in the studio. We're just going to be talking about next week. Go ahead.
All right, bye, guys.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Terry. I'm not prepared to talk about.
That's okay.
Let me get to my calendar. Here we
Here's
go. So
Mhm.
next week is July 7th, and we have Jill Weston with us.
My
We love Jill.
one of my favorite. I loved her so much.
We love to chill with Jill.
Yeah, that's Jill on a whole. Jill is just chill. Jill
Love
is
Jill.
amazing.
We are so blessed with so many great coaches and people that help us in our everyday wellness journey. It's just so wonderful, Maureen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yes. And we will see you on Saturday.
And for those of you who are not familiar with the Table of Six, Maureen does a beautiful program to teach you how to um, curate your palate and eat better for your health. And she called it is titled The Table of Six, and she only takes 6 people at a time because it is a very involved menu. And with that, she's able to give everybody individual attention
Yes.
and answer questions. So if you want to be a part of the Table of Six, you need to get a reservation in advance.
Actually, I just have one space left.
Oh, Saturday. Oh, wait, you hear that? That is
Just
a
one
novelty.
space. So if you want that one space, you can go to Walk or Run Fitness and cwrfitness.com and sign up and pay there. I only have one left.
There's only one spot,
And the
guys.
other thing to remember, she does this about every month. So once
Yes, it is. Yeah, so it does it like at the end of the month. So if you don't catch it, don't worry, you catch it next month.
yes, I'm very excited. And
But I
thank
want
you,
you to
Maureen.
know reservations are limited.
It
Okay,
is.
guys?
It's only 6.
6. Okay. So it's an exclusive event.
Yes, it is.
In the meantime, I want to remind everybody that if you're looking to be a part of the BizChicks community, you can join BizChicks by texting Biz to 33777. We'd love to have you be a part, and you can join through the Heartbeat app and let us get to know you and share with others what it is that you do and your gift that you bring to the marketplace. You can also get there through bizchicks.net. So if you're looking for us, you can find us in those 2 places. And we look forward to continuing to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and take the hassle out of your hustle. Thank you again, Maureen and Robin. We love you.
Sherry, love you. Congratulations
Thank
and
you.
enjoy. Bye.
And we will see you tomorrow for Tech Talk Weekly here. This week in tech history, we'll be talking about social media, and we'll be talking about how to use technology in an easy way that you'll understand. We'll talk a little bit about text marketing, but come on in. The water's fine and it'll be easy to understand. With that, we want to remind you to go to the front of your own line, and it's okay to be successful in your business. Have a great day. Bye bye, Robin. Bye bye. Thank you for
Bye,
tuning
Terry.
in. Bye bye, Cecilia
Thank you,
and
everybody.
Jill. We love you guys. Bye bye.